Hello, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Ostrike, and today we will be working on lesson 6.4 in your Go Math book, page 345. Our essential question today is: how can you write a pair of fractions as fractions with a common denominator? Basically, you want to be able to convert fractions that have different denominators um, to fractions with the same denominator. Let's read this. It's on page 345. We're going to skip some parts of this lesson. Just follow me. A common denominator is a common multiple of the denominators of two or more fractions. Fractions with common denominators represents wholes cut into the same number of pieces. Basically, what it's saying is a common denominator is a fraction with the same denominator. You need this information for later on when you will be adding and subtraction fractions. Okay, let's turn to page 346. Okay, write 4/5 and 1/2 as a pair of fractions with common denominators, with the same denominator. Right now, 4/5 has a denominator of 5, and 1/2 has a denominator of 2. We want to be able to find a common denominator for those two fractions. So let's read this. You can use common multiples to find a common denominator. List multiples of each denominator. A common multiple can be used as a common denominator. Let's see how we're going to do that. So right now we're going to list the multiples of 5 and 2 and circle the common multiples. Let's begin. 5, 10, 15, move that up, 20, oosh, 20, 25, 30. Okay, so we're finding all the common multiples of 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Now let's find the common multiples of 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Please make sure you write this information in the Go Math book. Now, let's look to see what multiples do they have in common. So, I can see they have not a 5 in common, a 10. Oh, yes, there's a 10. Let me just circle that. It's not working. I'm going to circle that. I don't know why it's not working. 10 and 10. So they have a common multiple of 10. So now I want to convert these two fractions to really equivalent fractions with a denominator of 10. So let's begin. 4/5 equals 4/5 times what will get to 10? Well, I know this has a denominator of 10, so 5 times what makes 10? 2. Now you know in fractions that whatever you do to the denominator, you have to do to the numerator. So 4 times, we have to do this as a 2 because that's what we did to the denominator, and that equals 8. So as you can see, 4/5 is equivalent to 8/10. We're using 10 because that is a common denominator for both of these fractions. Right now, 1/2 equals, well, the common denominator is 10. So 2 times what is 10? 5. So whatever you do to the denominator, you have to do to the numerator. So multiply this by 5. And 1 times 5 is 5. So now we have two fractions, 4/5 and 1/2, which have equivalent fractions, 8/10 and 5/10, with the same denominator. So you can write 4/5 as 8, 8, let me underline that, 8/10, 8/10, and you can write 1/2 as 5, 5/10. So that is how you have two fractions, and you're finding the equivalent fractions with common denominators. Okay, let's go to the next page. Find a common denominator for 1/3 and 1/12. Okay, what are the multiples of 3? Let's put that right here. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. Okay, I'm going to go out about that much. What are the common multiples of 12? 12, 24, 36. Oh, wait, I see. I already have a common multiple. So 1/3, 1, 1, 1/3 is equal to, is equal to 24. Let me see if I can just write this. So a common denominator is 24. So 3 times what is 24? 8. So 1 times 8 is 8. So that is equivalent fraction with a common denominator. 12. 1, underline it, 1/12 is equal to, what's our common denominator? 24 is equal to 24. So 12 times 2 is 24. So 1 times 2 equals 2. So 1/3 is equivalent to 8/24. 1/12 is equivalent to 2/24. So the common denominator for here is 24. Okay, boys and girls, on your own, see if you can complete page 3 347. Don't forget, first find your common denominator, your common multiples. First find your multiples, then list all the multiples until you come to a common multiple from each of the numbers. Please try to complete page 347.